Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. Now imagine the scene. The NFL offseason has been buzzing, and for the Detroit Lions, the headlines just got even more intriguing. It's not every day that you see a team like the Giants, a franchise with a storied history but also some recent struggles on defense, make a bold move that can shake up an entire division. And folks, that's exactly what's happening right now. Rumors are swirling about the New York Giants trading away Kayvon Thibodeuax, their promising young edge rusher, to none other than our Detroit Lions. Yes, you heard that right. The Lions might be on the verge of adding a player with the potential to transform their pass rush into one of the most lethal units in the NFL. Let's set the stage a little. Kayvon Thibodeuax, drafted 5th overall in the 2022 NFL Draft, has shown flashes of brilliance. His rookie season in 2023 was marked by a spectacular 11.5 sacks, a number that immediately got the attention of fans and analysts alike. That kind of production signals a player with not just talent, but a real nose for getting to the quarterback. But this isn't just about stats. It's about the potential, the athleticism, and the kind of disruptive force he can become when given the right environment. And here's where things get really interesting for Detroit. For the Lions, the idea of adding a player like Thibodeuax isn't just about bolstering the pass rush. It's about creating a dual threat on the edges that could redefine their defensive identity. You already have Aiden Hutchinson, who's become a cornerstone of Detroit's defense. But pairing him with a guy like Thibodeuax, that could elevate your entire front seven and, frankly, make life miserable for quarterbacks in the NFC North and beyond. Think about it, the Lions, under the leadership of Dan Campbell and GM Brad Holmes, have built a team that's tough, physical, and relentless. What they've been missing, however, is a true edge rusher opposite Hutchinson, a player capable of consistently winning one-on-one battles and consistently applying pressure in critical moments. And if you look at the current roster and the recent offseason moves, it's clear that Detroit has been strategic. They've invested in their offense with the likes of Jared Goff and their offensive line, but defensively they've been focused on creating a fierce, aggressive identity. Adding Thibodeuax would be the next logical step. Imagine what it could do for their pass rush. It would give the Lions a truly dynamic duo, one of the most athletic and explosive in the league. Opposing offenses would have to account for both Hutchinson and Thibodeuax, which could open up opportunities for their linebackers and defensive backs to make plays. But why would the Giants consider trading a player of Thibodeuax's caliber now? Well, the situation in New York is quite nuanced. The Giants have just made significant moves in the offseason, bringing in star edge rusher Brian Burns from Carolina and drafting Abdul Carter from Penn State. Burns, signed to a hefty 5-year, $141 million contract, is already established as one of the league's premier sack artists. Meanwhile, Carter, the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft, is seen as a disruptive force with explosive speed and versatility. With these two already anchoring the pass rush, the Giants might see Thibodeuax more as a piece to be moved rather than a long-term cornerstone. Plus, the financial side plays a role here. Thibodeuax, as a former top 5 pick, is on a rookie deal that's set to cost around $57 million in 2026 if they pick up his 5th-year option. The Giants, facing cap constraints and looking to build a more versatile, speed-driven defense, might decide that trading Thibodeuax now gives them the chance to recoup draft capital and reallocate resources to other areas. That's especially true considering they would receive a 3rd-round pick in 2026 and a 6th-round pick in 2027 in exchange, a deal that could be seen as a strategic move for a team that's retooling. And for Detroit, the opportunity is too tempting to ignore. Acquiring Thibodeuax would be a low-risk, high-reward move. He's still on his rookie deal, which means the Lions could integrate him into their system without a massive financial commitment right away. Plus, given his age, just 24 years old, he's entering what many consider his prime years. The potential for growth is enormous, especially with the right coaching and scheme fit. Dan Campbell's aggressive, high-motor defensive approach could be the perfect environment for Thibodeuax to reach his full potential. Let's not forget about the bigger picture here. The Lions have been steadily rising in the NFC North. They've built a solid foundation on both sides of the ball, and they're hungry for their first real playoff success in years. Adding a player like Thibodeuax would be a statement, an indication that Detroit is serious about contending now and in the future. It's about creating a defensive line that can dominate in high-stakes moments, especially in the playoffs where pressure and disruptive plays are essential. Now, some might wonder about the cost. Trading a top-5 pick just 3 years into his career is a tough pill to swallow. But context is everything. The Lions have made it clear that they're willing to take calculated risks if it means elevating their team to the next level. And the Giants, while they value Thibodeuax's talent, are clearly positioning themselves for a different defensive identity, one built around speed, versatility, and a more dynamic pass rush with Burns and Carter leading the charge. In that context, parting ways with Thibodeuax might make sense for both sides. Of course, this isn't just about the Lions and the Giants. Other teams might come into the picture if Thibodeuax becomes available, like the 49ers, the Bears, or the Patriots. They all have the cap space and draft capital to make a move if the price is right. But the fit in Detroit feels natural. The Lions have the cap flexibility, the draft capital, and the coaching staff who believe in developing young talent and maximizing their potential. Thibodeuax, under the right scheme, could become a game-changer. So, as training camp heats up and the NFL offseason continues to unfold, it's worth keeping a close eye on this story. The Giants might be making calls, testing the waters, and seeing what kind of offers they can get for Thibodeuax. And if Detroit's front office is listening, this could be one of those rare moves that define a franchise's trajectory for years to come. Think about the impact: adding a young, explosive pass rusher who still has a lot of room to grow, and pairing him with Hutchinson. It's almost too good to ignore, isn't it? And that's what makes this whole situation so fascinating for Lions fans. It's not just about a trade rumor, it's about the possibility of elevating your team to a new level. It's about finally having that duo of elite pass rushers that can terrorize quarterbacks week after week. And it's about the Lions finally taking that leap to become a true contender in the NFC. The potential is there, and all eyes are on this developing story. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. In conclusion, folks, the possibility of the Giants trading Kayvon Thibodeuax to Detroit isn't just a rumor. It's a game-changing scenario that could reshape the NFC North's landscape and set the Lions on a new trajectory towards Super Bowl contention. It's about seizing opportunities, making bold moves, and building a team that can consistently pressure the quarterback, force turnovers, and dominate in the trenches. For Lions fans, this is the kind of news that fuels hope and excitement. The team is already on the rise, but adding a player like Thibodeuax could push them into that elite tier, where they're not just contenders but serious Super Bowl favorites. So stay tuned, keep your eyes open, and let's see how this story unfolds because, if it happens, it'll be one of the most exciting developments in Detroit Lions history in recent years. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news.